Okay. Wasn't ready to go. All right. Well, first I have to see if I'm really here because we've had problems with this before. All right, so I see that my screen is on. So I guess we are live and direct. How's the audio? Am I coming through? Levels good. Levels good. Levels good. I don't know. My device was acting funny. Had to restart it. It just wasn't. And this is this is my favorite one to stream from. So, yeah, I would have rather have come prepared, but I didn't. So we're gonna do it like this. It's the daily go get up mism show. You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting, and everything is gonna be all right. We talking about the things your president said tonight. I swear, boy, this dude is God's gift to media. God's gift to media. And I'm not lying. I've never seen a person that makes networks this much money just by running his mouth. Yo, never down south. Never disappoint. I don't like it, but that's not my point. He brings the dough in, so his image they can't stop showing. What up, Spartacus? Hey, T carry right down with us. Gonna talk about it tonight. Yeah, politics in sight. I don't always want to be talking about this stuff, but I can't really get enough. Cause when I see things going wrong, sometimes just gotta put it in a song. So we gonna talk about it tonight. Yeah, get your mind right. Get the game tight. Yeah. I couldn't bring the Cougars on cause I had to get the stream on. So got out the bongos. They was close and I'm the host. We gonna talk about it tonight. Did y'all see tonight the president's address to Congress tonight? Did y'all? When I say he is God's gift to media, I'm not lying. He is literally God's gift to media. They cannot keep the cameras off of this guy. Now, of course, an event like the president's address to Congress, of course, the media is going to come there. Of course, they're going to cover it. But the things that are said in these speeches are so unconventional and so honestly, so ridiculous that it makes my head spin. I'm thinking like, I don't know. It baffles me. It confuses me. I just don't understand how people follow a guy like this. I don't understand it. I don't understand how basically they bet all of their money on this dude. I don't understand it, but it's real. It's a real thing, and this is something that we have to deal with. We got to deal with it. So let's talk about what he was talking about tonight. First of all, did anybody see his address to Congress? You know what? Outside of maybe primetime Deion Sanders, Muhammad Ali, who are some notable famous people that you can remember who have hyped themselves up, talked about themselves all the time, and made themselves seem bigger than they were? Who are some of the names that you can think of? Yeah, Primetime used to do it. He still kind of does. He's mellowed out a little bit. Now his sons are doing it. Well, at least Shador, Sanders. He's about to go into the NFL. He's a really good quarterback and all of that. We're gonna see how that goes. But yeah, Muhammad Ali came into the game calling himself the greatest. And when I see Donald Trump basically do that, and you see what's important to him, like it's important to him to be seen as the greatest president ever. Regardless of his antics, regardless, like he honestly feels so entitled. He expects to be excused for anything and everything that he does. And unfortunately, it seems like he gets his way with it, with certain people. People will rush up to him to kiss the ring. This shit is crazy. It's the most, it's the most captivating thing I've ever saw. Except I don't like it. Have you ever experienced anything like this? Like something that you can't keep your eyes off, something that is so spectacular, but ugly as hell. It's like watching a really, really ugly person do their thing. And it's not that their talent is getting them over. It's the fact that they have some type of charismatic appeal that will not allow you to turn away. They are literally a person, a shipwreck. A train wreck in the flesh. Not because of their looks, but because of their whole aura. This man is destructive. But to the people who love him, to the people who like him, to the people who support him, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I've never seen anything like this before. I haven't. Only in sports, only in entertainment have I ever heard anybody call themselves the best at anything and get away with it, even if they were challenged. Nowhere else, especially in business, nobody want to hear that. People don't normally spend their money where somebody is grandstanding and, beating themselves on the chest and patting themselves on the back and almost sucking their own dick. This man does that. Remember back in his first term, he claimed to have accomplished more in his first term than Abraham Lincoln. Now he like, fuck all of that. I have accomplished more in this in this second term, but in this small amount of time, he said, than any other president, and except for one. And the one was George Washington. That's what he said tonight. Now, I didn't get a chance to watch it in its entirety because I was at work and I was busy as hell and I just couldn't dedicate all of my time to it. But I saw what I saw and I heard what I heard. And I was like, now with Trump, him hyping himself up and saying how good he is and giving him the self-proclamation of being the best is one thing. But the other thing that we've never seen, the one thing that he does that we have never seen before is how he tears down all the previous administrations. Like, forget about me being the best, but I am the best. But everybody before me sucked, especially the last guy. Like, he will not miss an opportunity to shit on Joe Biden. And he'll shit on Obama if he gets the chance. But it doesn't work it doesn't go over as well. Because Obama was a long time before him. Well, nowadays. Because we talk about 8 years. And some change. But the way he finds a way or finds ways to diss Joe Biden is utterly ridiculous and it's disgusting. It's so unprofessional. But they clap. Oh my God, yes. Oh, he was stupid. He was stupid. He was totally incompetent. Yo, if y'all listen tonight, this motherfucker blamed the high price of inflation on Joe Biden, particularly the price of eggs. He did it. He has no chains on him. Yo, we gotta talk about it, y'all. What's good? What's good? T carry right morning, noon, and night. It's always great to have my peoples going directly into your site. What's good, Ma? And Manzoor. What's up, Manzoor? Good to see you. Spartacus says the Trump train is definitely the crazy train. Man. What up, Wes? Wes says Trump and Biden. Interesting. Spartacus says enjoying the stream. Double tap the like. The stream is free. Will help bring more people to the party. Let's go. Like and subscribe. Appreciate that. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the help. My man Troy Diesel. Troy McNeil is all up in the house. My brother. My mellow. Kim's Wims. What's going on, man? What's going on? He said, woo. She said, woo, child. Good morning, night, go getters. Wow. The widow bros, what's good, man? What's good? All right. Let me see. Buttercup 25. What up, Buttercup? What's going on, Buttercup? And my man Buana Haguski. What's good? What's up, my brother, man? How you feeling, man? Good to see you. He says next thing, he'll be claiming he done more than Jesus Christ. It's coming. He already got his own Bible, man. Listen, man, I know y'all probably don't believe me. I don't be wanting to do this shit, but it's ridiculous. I'm feeling like, I'm feeling like God is telling me, like, yo, man, you're not going to let this misinformation go on. You can't do it. You got a platform. You got to go up there as many times as it takes, and you have to tell the truth. Yes, you have to. It's not an option. You got to tell the truth. I'm like, but I want to talk about some other shit. I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about family. I want to talk about children. I want to talk about your relationships at work. I want to talk about how, why you feel the way you feel, do the things that you do, and think the way that you think. Those are the shows I want to do. I'm a social scientist. That's what I do. My degree was in criminal justice. I have a sociology background. I care about people. I don't even want to talk about this dickhead. I don't. But I'm like, it's like it be calling me. It's like somebody like, they giving me the bows. Hey, yo, so you just gonna let that go? You gonna let that go? You gonna let, at the Congressional address tonight, Donald Trump sat up there. He literally sat up there and said, basically called all the Democrats haters, like nothing I do. They would never cheer about nothing I do. I'm like, you really care about them. You kick it like all you care about is revving up your base. And I get it because they cheer for you. But you can't stand to have your enemies or your opposition in the same room and they like. See, I have a stand-up comedy background. So I know what it's like to tell jokes and nobody laughs at them. Now, you could say, well, the crowd just wasn't on my side tonight, or the crowd was dead, or they was tired, or it was too many comedians, or blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Number one rule in comedy is this is your job. You make them laugh. You don't have no excuses when they laugh. You don't be like, well, they only laugh because I was dressed nice. They only laugh because I got a haircut. They only laugh because they could smell my cologne. They only laugh because I took a shower. They only laugh because I got some pussy today and I was energized. They only laugh because my mama always told me to be respectful. You don't have no excuses for when things go your way. So don't be using no excuses for when things don't go your way. That's a stand-up comedy rule number one. So I look at Donald Trump because he likes to be a funny person. He likes to crack jokes. He likes to be on stage. Now he's not a performer in as far as acting or telling jokes on stage or playing an instrument, but he likes to get on stage and kick his shit. you know, ought to be damned. But he can't stand it when there are audience members who don't appreciate his style of entertainment. He don't like it. So he was like, I could cure the most deadly disease in the world, and they wouldn't cheer, they wouldn't stand, they wouldn't give an ovation, they wouldn't stand up, they wouldn't clap, they wouldn't do anything. And I'm listening to this motherfucker like, y'all do understand that this dude is trying to say that he cured the most deadly disease. He's literally up there trying to say that he cured COVID. If you listen to what he's saying and in the context of which is being said, it's easy to connect those dots. I don't know if y'all caught it. Did y'all see it? Did y'all see it? Kim, I know you seen it. I know you had this on it. Buttercup says, I'm so tired of Trump. I'm praying for better times ahead. Man, you ain't the only one. Lord. Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Shirley Cheryl, the world's most precious and greatest pearl in the world. Buana says, Trump thinks it was a rap concert tonight. Yo, man. Kim says, he can't keep Obama, Biden, or Kamala out of his mouth. The tongue is strong with the hate and jealousy. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
You have a call from.
Woo! Caller with the last number is 5639. Welcome to the Daily Go-Getterism Show. Listen, now I normally tell y'all when the phone rings before I give out the number or invite y'all to call, it's normally spam. But when I saw that number, I said, oh shit. Somebody got a burning torch in their hand with the hoodie off, with the hood off. Somebody is riding horseback, burning torch in their hand with the hood off, with the hood down, like, see me, bitches? I'm like, oh boy. All right, let's have at it. Let's do it.
I couldn't even fight fast enough.
I already know what it is.
Everything I want to say. It is just a matter of time before Troy calls too.
Listen, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. I didn't even know that shit was going on tonight. I mean, here I was, innocent. I'm at work hard. It was busy as shit tonight. You know what I'm saying? I said, all right, well, let me go on YouTube, see what's going on. You know what I mean? Let me go to Midas. I said, oh, shit.
Listen, I waited all day for it. I know people were saying they weren't going to watch it, but I was like, I need to see what this jackass says. And I also need to follow up and see what he's doing behind the scenes as he's speaking, because that's what he does. He puts up a show for us to watch while he does other bullshit behind the scenes. And then I need to know the lies that are about to come. I want to be prepared for. You have a call from.
Yeah.
It's so weird today that I'm like, I can't wait till the people try to go against this one, because I live where he lied about. So let's see.
Well, the thing is, whether he's lying or telling the truth. Hold on, somebody has a TV or something in their background. You gotta kill all that.
I got it.
All right. So
what's going on, y'all?
Hold on. Before you come on, hold on.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I was waiting for your monologue to get done before I called this. Who called this first?
Yeah, you see, she wasn't waiting. She wasn't waiting for shit. You know what I mean? She gonna jump in this double dutch. But hold on. But yeah, the thing is, forget about what he's lying about. Like, just the unmitigated gall, the gumption, like he just, I mean, he really just don't give a fuck. He will spit them like he be spitting them lyrics. I just imagine a rapper just saying anything out of his mouth because it rhymes. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm hearing. I'm like, dude, when he said, "Yo, the egg prices are high because of Biden," I said, "Lord, nigga, what are we?" And the motherfucker's like, yup, that's right. That's exactly right. Yo.
$16 a dozen right now. The Biden was office, they were like $3. I don't know. There's a huge difference there since the first of the year to now.
It's really too much. I mean, the price, and you know, this is one day after, or half a day, however you want to say it, after he imposed the 25% tariffs on Canada and Mexico.
And China too.
But he had already did it on China, but he did it 10%. So he upped the ante. And I'm like, dude, you can't blame that on no Joe Biden. These prices about to be so high. Like I wanted to just warn people today, like, yo, you better stockpile some food now. It's going to be the only thing that you can afford in a minute. Because it's going to go up so high.
Shit, yo, you ain't gonna be able to go to no produce junctions no more, bro.
Dog, I've already seen prices in the supermarket double. I'm not going to have turkey wings for probably like 4 years. I'm not even kidding. They was, you know, because they was 10 pounds for $20 last month, and then they went to $5 for $20, and it's $40 for 10 pounds. I can't pay that much for no turkey wings. You know what I mean? It's bad enough. Only black people buy them shits. And they know that. They know that. You know what I mean? Don't know Hispanics eat no damn turkey wings. And I don't ever hear no white people talking about they eat them either. That's a black thing.
I can't imagine saying, I can't wait to get home and get some turkey wings.
I mean, if they ever tasted them, they would. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but that's a black thing. So every time I see the price of turkey wings, I always feel like it's a personal assault. Like this is bow. You know what I mean? Hey, that's the black tax. You know what I mean? Oxtails and turkey wings. That's the black tax right there. Cause they know ain't nobody else buying that shit. Nobody. But anyway, man, welcome to the Daily Go Getimism show. Troy and Kim, thanks for calling in, y'all. I mean, I appreciate y'all. So yeah, so did both of y'all or one of y'all see? Kim, I already know you saw it. Did you see it, Troy?
I didn't see the whole thing. I seen it. It used to be called the State of the Union address, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not. It's not time for the State of the Union address yet.
So he just wanted to speak to Congress tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, this was just to speak to Congress. We don't want to hear the State of the Union. I mean, what the fuck?
He wouldn't want to do a State of the Union address right now, even though he would, but he would just lie about everything. But you know,
his nose don't grow when he lied, bro. Because that shit would have been out the door.
I'm looking for something. I'm looking for another adjective to describe him because liar ain't doing it. You know, just like when we was talking last night about the whole racism thing. Like, you know, I'm sick of calling them racist because it ain't hitting, it ain't hurting. So I'm like, with him, calling him a liar is like, it's like telling him that his shoes are untied and he got slip-ons. It don't hit him. You know what I mean?
He makes you use big words. He makes you want to go to the word dictionary and use big
No, one of the ways that you
that's what he is.
There are two ways to get to the psychology of somebody like Trump. The first way is to ignore him, but that's out of the question because he knows how to get the cameras on him. He knows how to make people listen. So there's no ignoring him. Now on a personal level, you could ignore him, but on a media level, there's no way. They are drawn to him like shit draws flies. But the other way that you get to him is to question his competence. He does not like to be told that he doesn't know what he's talking about or that he's not doing a good job. Mm-hmm. So you see how he treats people who tell him that he's doing a great job and that he is great. Like it's the simple, most immature thing that I've ever seen. But if you watch it, that's the key to his lock. Like straight flattery, it'll actually work. Like, man, you are the greatest. I've never seen anybody like you before. Because that's the way he talks. He's always saying, no, nobody's ever seen anything like this before. Like, nobody's ever seen anything. They be talking about regular shit. Groceries. Nobody ever used the word. Nigga, what? You know what I mean? He be talking about things that nobody ever saw before. Like, there was this animal. Like it can go for like days and days with no water. And it has like this humpback on it. Nobody's ever seen it before. You mean a camel, nigga? Well, in certain regions of the world, it's not called a camel. It's like, a camel. What the fuck is you? Get this. Yo, somebody will get this. But he literally does that.
I feel like we live in an alternative universe, man. We got to be living in like the Spider-Verse or something. This is like, I mean, I'm sitting up here and it's bewildering me. It's leaving my mouth agape.
Your mouth agape.
Stupidity. I've never seen no shit like this in my life. That it reminded me of an episode of Sopranos, right? When Carmela was telling Tony, people just laugh at you because you're the boss. And then Tony went around his friends and said this corny ass joke. And in slow motion, all of them is just laughing. Just laughing. Because he's the boss. And that's how I felt tonight. People are just laughing. See, when you grow up, you always get taught morals. And you always get taught right is right, wrong is wrong. All that shit is out the window now. But now wrong is wrong and wrong is wrong. You always get taught not to lie. If you get lied, if you get caught up in a lie, you get your ass whipped. Oh no, you lie now, they clap for you. They clap for you when you lie.
No, they don't clap for you. They actually find a way for you to be right. They correct your lies.
Yes. But no. They try to correct it with add more to the lie.
That's what I mean.
Or tell them what you're not trying to say. Oh no, that's not what he was trying to say. Because that's their favorite line. He wasn't trying to say that.
His press secretary is
she's trash.
All right, remember in his first administration? Remember? No, it was showing somebody before Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah. He stepped down real quick.
Yo, he used to be up there looking, because he used to be looking like, yo, y'all want me to say what? Yo, he used to be up there looking nervous, like, all right, so check it out, right? This chick that's up there now is talking about like, yeah, you're right. That's right. We're about to make America great again. We're working on the economy. We have the plan in motion, blah, blah, blah. like I've never heard a man talk so much about plans and never lay out a plan. I've never heard, like, never has he ever laid out a plan, except for the tax cut thing. And of course, that's not his plan. That's his handlers. So he just brands that to himself. But what he said tonight, man, you know, one thing I hate about this whole thing is that you can't criticize Trump to
Sean Spicer.
Yeah, Sean Spicer. Yeah. I couldn't remember his last name, but you can't criticize Trump to any of his supporters without being called a liberal or a loser or Kamala. I'm like, what does that have to do with the fact that he's not doing a good job? What does that have to do with the fact that he's so divisive? What does that have to do with the fact that he refuses to be a president for all people? What does that have to do with the fact that he said he was going to do certain things that he's not doing and that he's not addressing? What does that have to do with the fact that he spends too much time on grandstanding instead of actually putting in the work? What does that have to do with any of these things? The real issues. Why every time you talk to a Trump supporter, they have to give you some secret issues? Why isn't it anything that's ever right out there? Why do they have to have a decoder pin in order? Why do you have to have a decoder pin in order to listen to Trump? And then they have the nerve to say, "Oh yeah, see, you just don't get it." You know what I mean? You can't hear what he's saying. And I'm like,
because he's saying nothing.
I'm like,
you can't hear nothing. It's nothing. You can't hear anything if nobody's saying anything.
No, the thing is,
much what he's saying, Kim, is that his presidency is like the show Seinfeld, a show about nothing. And that's exactly what it's about. He's the king of the reiterator. He reiterates and reiterates and reiterates until you start saying, maybe he's telling the truth.
Well,
in the back of your mind, you know the fuck he's not, but it's like brainwashing.
See, all of that would be okay. Hold on.
My friend 752 used to say Chinese water torture.
See, here's the thing. All of that would be okay if he wasn't doing such treacherous shit behind the scenes. All of that would be okay if nobody was losing jobs and money and their livelihood behind this. All of that would be okay if there weren't international implications dealing with this shit. All of that would be okay if it wasn't for people having to worry about whether they're going to have health coverage because they're a senior or somebody who's taking care of a senior or has a senior as a loved one, and they're wondering if they're going to be able to get medical assistance or be able to afford prescriptions and all. All of that would be okay. It would be a show about nothing if it wasn't for that shit. But the problem is people's lives are being directly affected. Even when people try to say, well, it don't make me one difference or another. They don't even know. You know what I mean? It's like having a disease that hasn't reared its ugly head yet. You know, like having HIV that hasn't developed into full-blown AIDS and you haven't been diagnosed yet. So you think you're losing weight because you being more active, and that's not it. You understand what I'm saying? So this shit is serious. And I hate, and the other thing that I really, really hate is that when you talk like I'm talking, then they want to say that I'm fear mongering or that I'm just scared. And I'm like, I don't know about you or how you handle your business, but I've learned to protect myself in the streets and protect myself in private. I protect myself wherever I go. And I also have learned how to read people. I've learned how to read rooms, and I've learned how to read people one-on-one. So I've learned to listen and hear what people are really saying, even when they're not saying even when they claim that they're not saying what they're saying, or they claim that they're talking about somebody else when they're actually talking about themselves. So yeah, this shit is real. And I've never met anybody that called themselves the best at everything that was actually the best at it. You know, it's a sure sign of insecurity. And people talk about the evil that men will do when they are scorned or whatever, but people rarely address how the evil that men will do when they are insecure and the things that they will do for attention. You know, people have burned down houses, burned down communities, poisoned people. Nurses and doctors have killed multiple patients on some old, just looking back and watching they work as people scramble to figure out, you know, how to revive somebody or try to figure out how come they died. And they just sitting back like, you know, you understand what I'm saying? This shit is not a game. It's not a fucking game. You know, like they say that the devil is always busy. Well, look how busy this motherfucker seems. You gotta
Did
pick.
you see his face? You're saying the devil. Did you see his face when he didn't get a reaction from the Dems that he wanted? Like for in a quick second, his face was it just looked like some evil came out of his face in that moment because they didn't get up and give him the response that he was trying to bait them into. When he was saying, if I did this and I did that, they would never cheer for me or celebrate me. And when they didn't give him anything in return, he did a pause, just a quick second of a pause, and then his face just became real distorted. And for a minute, I'm like, am I tripping? Like, it almost looked like something evil came in his face. And I'm like, that is a person who is tortured within, and he does not know how to deal with it when he's not getting the kind of response he wants. And because they didn't give it to him when he's on a public stage, that really dug deep into his psyche. And I'm like, this is a very...
Not to interrupt you, Phil, but the thing that took me out was when the House Speaker stood up and asked them to remove Congressman Al Green.
Oh my God. He was going in. Yeah. I know, right?
Listen, I wanted it to be a fight. I'm just going to tell you, I wanted them to break out into a fight. I really did. I just kept saying, please start a fight. Please get into a fight. I wanted a brawl to take place. I did. I just wanted to see a bunch of grown, professional people duke it out and somebody get him one good time in his lip. That's what I wanted to happen. I was really wishing for it to be an all-out fight. That's how I felt listening to him. Like he was telling so many lies. For example, he said there's a Honda plant that's coming to Indiana because of him. Well, we've had a Honda plant in Indiana since 2007. He saw it when he came in 2016 to meet with Mike Pence. The only difference is now, due to these tariffs, Honda is thinking of creating their newest car, which is a Civic, and building it here in Indiana at this plant versus the plant they would normally build it in Mexico. Because that's where they put a lot of the new stuff, and they do everything else, and they bring it here. But because of his tariff, because we don't have workers here anymore for the Honda plant. See, those people are now 70 and 80 years old or deceased. And the younger group with 20, 30, 40, 50, none of us ever got on board to working in the auto plants. That's why they closed in the Midwest, because my age group and under didn't want to do that shit. Where our parents did. We didn't have to do that. That wasn't our option. So we don't even have people to work at a plant to build right now in Indiana. However, we've always had a plant here. We're not just getting a plant. It's always been here. So he's an idiot when he says that. He's a liar when he says it. That's what it is. And these people are clapping and celebrating. And it's like, but nobody does their homework. And maybe it's because he can say it enough and they cheered on enough and he says it enough that he believes it and they believe it. Because he continues to repeat the same lies that he told a few days ago at a press conference, and the prime minister from England had to correct him. Then he told another lie that the president from France had to correct him, and he told that lie again.
Yeah, that was funny.
Publicly, we all saw them correct him on both lies, and then he repeated them again tonight.
But see, that's the thing right there. That's the thing right there, Kim, and also Troy. I want to say this. See, you saw Trudeau correct him and Macron. You saw them correct him. His supporters don't see that. And Troy, just like you looked up Sean Spicer, you Googled it to find out what the name of his original press secretary was. His supporters are not going to do that. Like, I don't think you really understand how much people who watch Fox News do not know and how much they are not told. Like, their news shouldn't even be really called news because it's like in the alternative universe. If you ever really listen to that channel,
it should be just called propaganda.
It's worse than that. Like it's like nothing. It's like an alternative world. Like, now, I'm not going to say that the Democrats don't spread propaganda and edit videos and stuff like that and only take sound bites that fit the narrative of what they're trying to paint, because they do it too. But I recognize that I know what they're doing on both sides. But the Democrats will give some credit. These motherfucking Republicans draw the line in the sand, man. And I'm telling you, everything that, like, they look at everything that Democrats do as inferior, and every Democrat is an idiot, a total bumbling fool, and that's what they tell to their constituents. That's what they tell to their audience. That's what they tell to their viewers, and they believe that shit because most people really only want to take news from one source. They really don't want to be bombarded with all these different choices because they don't know how to handle that. So you have to sometimes remember that when you think that other people know the things that you know, they have not a clue. And so their thought process is way different than yours. Now, I want to talk about some actual things that he talked about tonight. Because, like, so, you know, he talked about DOGE. Now, this whole DOGE thing, and once again, he called Elon Musk the head of DOGE. That's what he called him. So I'm like, okay. And you notice Elon Musk had.
Remember in court he said no. Remember in court they said no.
Yeah,
honestly. He cannot be the head of anything unless the Senate sits down and they have to vote on him being that.
Okay, and now we know that, and that's fine. But what I'm talking about is the fact that, first of all, Elon Musk had on a suit tonight with a quinky dink, complete with tie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I wonder what motivated that. Probably nothing, right? Okay.
No, well, you know what motivated that.
Okay. Now the other thing is this. Hold on.
Situation with Zelensky.
Yeah. I mean, I know. You know what I mean? There are other people who know too. But what I'm getting to is with the whole DOGE thing, they're talking about how they've uncovered all of this fraud and all of this waste, but they haven't pointed a single finger. Now, any other time when they think that they found their opposition in a precarious position and where they can really strike back at them, they're ready to name names and they're ready to litigate, even to the point of locking somebody up. So why aren't they talking about where this fraud, this massive fraud and waste is coming from? Where's the source? What heads are going to roll? Who's getting their ass kicked? Who's going to get the cuff slapped on them? I mean, what are we waiting for? See, if they tell you that, then if they put a name to the fraud and waste, now you have to prove it, and you have to prove how much money was either stolen or wasted. So Trump being Trump, he just throws shit out there, and he knows that his base will eat it up. They'll listen to it. They'll believe what he says because he's already told them not to believe any media outlets or sources except for him. So this is crazy. Wait a minute. In the chat, Kemalaba says building a case takes time. Oh yeah? Well then you know what? Then revealing the findings should do the same. If it takes time to build a case, then just like the FBI or the DEA or the IRS, when the feds come and get you, like if you, let's say you are committing crimes, they already have a whole big case before they say anything. I can still hear my voice on somebody. One of y'all must have me on speaker or something like that.
That's me. I got you.
All right.
Here we go.
Yeah, because I'm hearing the feedback. So okay, we clear now. But yeah, so if building a case takes time, then why don't you take your time and build your case, and then come where the shit when you have all your facts together and when you're ready to strike. The thing is, Donald Trump has a long storied history of bullshitting. Saying that he's gonna have an answer or a statement or whatever, or do a press conference in 2 weeks. He's done this plenty of times, and he came back with nothing. I don't know if any of y'all remember in his first administration when he said that he was going to come back with his alternative health plan to the Affordable Care Act. He said he would be back in 2 weeks. Well, it's kind of been 6 years. Mm-hmm. So that's not the only receipt that I have on him. So he does this. But because he knows if people believe him, it's like there was a popular local comedian that I knew years ago, and he used to tell the young comedians, like, yo, if I steal your joke, he used to just play around with them, but he was serious and playing around at the same time. He said, yo, that joke you told tonight, I'm gonna steal that. And he said, who you think they gonna believe made it up? Me or you? I'm here, I run this place, I do this, I'm well respected. Who you think that they gonna think that you wrote this joke instead of me? When I already got the clout?
I think I know what a comedian said that.
I'm sure you know. And they're gonna remain unnamed just like they're supposed to. But when he said that, it made sense to me. Because he was telling the truth. I may not have liked the truth, but he was telling the truth. So Donald Trump understands the same thing. If I say it, it's going to have clout. If I say it, people are going to believe me. If I say it, I don't have to prove it because I already got the juice. I'm rich. People believe anything that a rich person says. I'm famous. People hang on to every word that famous people say, especially rich and famous people. So I can just throw it out there and it's good. Yeah, people try to fact check me. I don't give a fuck. They fact in that debate with him and Kamala Harris when he put out there, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. They fact checked him right on the spot. Did it matter?
No, because people still believe it.
Not only did they believe it, it didn't even matter that it wasn't true. And many of them who knew it wasn't true, it didn't matter to them. They still went in that booth and they voted for him. So when you got the juice, you got the juice. So you got to understand. You got to understand what's at play here. You're not dealing with somebody that you're going to be able to strike out and they just going to leave the game. This shit is going into extra innings. This is some real shit. And we're here. Him winning that election pretty much validated his whole existence. Now his mentality is like, I'm gonna do whatever I fucking want to do. Watch me get away with anything I feel like getting away with. And it's all going to benefit me, and I'm going to laugh at everybody when it's all done. Because I only became president for fun. It fucked around and got me in some trouble, so I had to become president again to get out of the trouble. Now I'm out of the trouble. Now I fixed it so I can't even get in trouble. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, so with the whole DOGE thing, he didn't say they're not going to say where they're finding the fraud and waste and all of that shit. They're throwing out numbers that they can't confirm, that they can't substantiate. So they're having to take shit down from websites and stuff like that. They're just throwing shit out there. But it doesn't matter because his base, his supporters aren't like you. They're not like me. They hang on his every word. And all they care about is the fact that he's winning and that he won. So until one of those things stop, he's just gonna go in. So
it's all fun and games for them right now until the serious shit hits the fan, which it's doing. Like in the midst of all this carrying on he's doing, we have a threat that is even bigger than the dictators who sit before us. And that is Kim Jong-un's sister, Kim Yo-jong. And even he fears her because they say she is a relentless, she's not even a dictator. She is just a relentless, soulless shell of I don't know what you want to call her. And he fears her. They say even when he was sick, there were rumors that he was sick. He wanted to keep that from her for fear that she would kill him. And say she's the one who masterminded the death of their uncle. So she is relentless, and she's been quiet and hasn't said anything. But something has happened that Trump has done that has stirred her soul, and now she is being vocal. Right now, she is saying the United States is hostile and confrontational at will, and she is now ready to explore attacks against the United States. And the difference between her...
You also got to remember the reason why she might be coming out like that is because of the way he's dealing with the other the presidents of other countries.
No, that's not why. That's not why. No, that's not why. She's doing it because he deployed U.S. military assets doing drills with South Korea, and then he just deployed one over North Korea. So, see, these are the things he's doing in the background. And she has decided she's going to examine the options of increasing action that threaten the security of the enemy at the strategic level. And right now she's saying the United States is the enemy. She doesn't care about him falling in love with Kim Jong-un years ago. She's talking about right now, today. And her thing is, why did he do this? Sneak attack. What is this about? She's not one to feel like you can play games and threaten. She is one, if you do this, if you want to come at me and play checkers, I'm not playing chess. Baby, I'm winning every game. That is how she feels. And he just did that dumb stuff. This is the second time he's done it in a week. Because he did it last week, less than a week ago, over kids. And he sat back in the background. But it was the United States that led the B-52 bomber over Kiev in this play. Let's play this nuclear game. Let's play this deployment game. Let's play this missile attack game. Let's play these drills. It's a game. But these other countries are like, this is a threat. You're taunting us. So now we have to prepare. Just like he wants to do the same thing to Mexico. And the reality is, he is doing this to try to intimidate. And they're not looking at it as intimidation. They're looking at it as, let's prepare for an attack. And eventually, specifically with Kim Yo-jong, she's not going to wait for an attack. She is going to be the aggressor. And that is the part that these idiot people who are supporting him and celebrating him and clapping hands, because they're listening to Fox News, they aren't seeing this other stuff. So they have no clue. And by the time they find out, it will be too late. Because in reality, no one wins a war. There's casualties on both sides. That's the sad part. And we all could become a casualty of his ignorance.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like I said, when you take into consideration what he's saying and what he's not saying, as he's saying what he's saying, like when you take into consideration the parts that he's leaving out, like when he talks about his presidential agenda, and he, you know, when he's talking about like immigration and what are the other low hanging fruit things that he talks about? Oh, when he talks about elimination of DEI and all of that kind of stuff, but not one word, not one mention of all the people who have lost jobs because of him and because of his policies. Not one mention of the fact that with that many people losing jobs, the United States is basically in a rebuilding process. You know, so it's one thing to say, well, yeah, I said what I said and I'm doing what I said I was going to do. Okay, that's all well and good. But you're not taking into consideration the gravity of your actions. You're not talking about how the things that you are doing are in your mind strengthening you and your position as far as a politician is concerned. But you're also actually hurting the same people who voted for you. I've seen these videos, man. I've seen these videos with these farmers belly aching and shit, you know, and they really in a bad way right now, you know what I mean? Because they can't sell no food. That USA aid shit is all fucked up. They discontinued that, so they can't export their products. I mean, their you know, their food, basically their product out of the country or whatever. So they stuck with all of this stuff, and you know, these are perishables. So without them being able to sell, they stand to go bankrupt. Right now, they fucked up. They basically run their own business and they don't have no job. But yeah, he's not going to talk about those things. He's not going to address those issues. And sadly, his supporters aren't going to address those things either. Those are basically like casualties of war, like y'all were just talking about a second ago. They're looking at those like those, you know, I mean, you know, people die every day, B. People lose jobs every day, B. People got to struggle to eat every day, B. I'm like, what the fuck is you talking about? People was eating. This is the first administration where people have lost jobs. All the other administration.
Rapid pace at that.
Listen, it don't go this way. It doesn't go this way. The last president who made people lose jobs during their administration was George H.W. Bush, the first Bush Senior. Remember, because he was responsible for deregulation, and he allowed these these companies to monopolize shit, and all of those jobs went overseas. Automotive industry and all of that shit, and the economy was all fucked up. And when he didn't get reelected, people act like they didn't understand. I mean, him and his family act like they didn't know why. Like, what are you talking about? People ain't gonna lose jobs and then vote for somebody. I mean, poor Joe Biden. He created, people got mad jobs under his administration. He still got fired. And I don't know, man. I wonder if, even though, everybody fed into the narrative that, he was Sleepy Joe and he's suffering from dementia and all of that. I'm not so sure that Joe Biden couldn't have beat Donald Trump straight up. I'm not so sure. He never got a chance to, and I always felt like it was a conspiracy behind that. But I'm not so sure he couldn't beat him. He beat him before. I wonder what it would have been like if they would have had, the second leg of the Thriller in Manila.
Well, after that first presidential debate, that was it. The way that he acted, the way that he was conducting himself and couldn't answer certain questions or answer questions differently, it just threw everything out the window. And what happened was Donald Trump added fuel to the fire, and the Democrats got scared and told Joe somebody else got to run.
Well, I'm not sure if that whole thing was orchestrated. I've always had feelings that thing was already, that plan was put in place in the beginning.
Even if the plan was put in the place in the beginning, I'm pretty sure that Kamala wasn't the one that they wanted to run.
I'm not so sure about that. People don't always make the best decisions. But then again, I don't think she was a bad decision because she was doing really well.
I'm not saying that she was a bad decision, but what I am saying is that I just, in my thought process, I'm not saying I think she was a great decision, but I'm just thinking that people that they didn't want her as the face of the Democratic Party at the time.
No, I understand that, but
that's the thing I'm saying, because let's put it like this: if they could have got if it was somebody else that was at that level, that was on the same level of showing that type, because normally how it goes is your vice president runs for president and he becomes president, and that's how it goes. So they just fed off of that narrative of how things would go. Had they did another debate and Joe did great, it might have turned the tables.
Well, I remember
might have turned the tables.
I remember when Obama fumbled, stumbled, and fucked up totally, looking like he was drugged in the first debate with Mitt Romney in 2012. I remember that. You know what I mean? It honestly, it reminded me of how Joe Biden was. Obama seemed like he was drugged, and just the next day he was talking like Joe Biden was talking. Like, yeah, you hear that shit last night? Yo, they was tripping and blah 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 blah. And we was like, well, where the fuck was you last night? Because you wasn't present at that debate. So,
I think the first debate is he got an argument with Michelle before he went out on the stage.
I mean, listen, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. You never know what people are conspiring to do. You know what I mean? We could get off of this phone or get on the phone together before we ever before we ever get on this show in front of everybody. And I could tell y'all, I could have a whole script out of what you're supposed to say and what you're supposed to say and what I'm supposed to say. And who's gonna know? Outside of us three, if the three of us keep our mouths shut, who's gonna know? You know what I mean? So one thing I do know is that you don't pick a vice president that will not be able to serve as president in the event that something should happen to the president.
So now let's just think about what you just said, right? because we already got a village idiot. Hypothetically, let's say that Donald Trump get impeached. Can you honestly see J.D. Vance being president?
Yes, I can.
I
can. Well, let me ask you this.
Let me tell you why I can't see it right now. Because he's not acting presidential right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not acting presidential, like that shit he did when that meeting with Zelensky, if you acting presidential, you don't feed off of that. You see what I'm saying? But see, what you're doing is you're following behind who's your boss right now. And then when you follow behind him,
another agenda. I think he has another
and that's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. He has another agenda. He's just following behind Donald Trump because he thinks he's the heir apparent. Not realizing that.
Well, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, well, and doing what you're supposed. Normally, every vice president stays in the background for years. You never heard nothing from Pence. You never heard the only vice president that was there that was doing a lot of shit was Biden for Barack, and Barack will tell you that. The vice president for George W. Bush, the vice Al Gore didn't do much for Bill Clinton. George W. Bush, what's his name? Dick Cheney didn't do a lot for. Matter of fact, Dick Cheney did a shitload of shit for George W. Bush.
Yeah, he did.
He was pretty much the president.
Kind of was.
Yeah.
But George H.W. Bush was pretty much the president in charge when Reagan was in office, because Reagan was already suffering.
His second term he was.
Yeah.
First term, Reagan was doing his shit. But as the next term, when Reagan was getting older, George H.W. jumped in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very rare that you see the vice president jump in and speak.
Well, that's why I say I know for a fact that they orchestrated it. It wasn't that all that was planned. It happened the way they set it up to happen. They knew exactly what to do.
I mean, I've never seen a bunch of grown boys. Because when the man walked in, the first thing Donald Trump said, "Oh, he's dressed. He's well dressed."
He said it before he walked in. He said it when they were outside.
Before he walked in. Yeah, when he walked in him. Yeah. And then you got what's his name? Then you got Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend talking about his outfit. You know, and the only thing I'm sitting up here saying is that this man is fighting a war. Who gives two shits about his damn outfit?
Listen, let's stay with today. Because the bottom line is two or more people can always conspire to get some shit done. And if everybody keeps their mouth shut, then nobody will be able to prove that they conspired. But you will be able to litigate or call them on the carpet, call them to the carpet for whatever they've done, whether they orchestrated it or whether they did it off the cuff or randomly. And when you ask about, honestly, if I had to choose between J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, I'm taking J.D. Vance all day. J.D. Vance is only 40 years old. He can be molded. Have you heard the things that he used to say about Donald Trump? You know what I mean? He called himself another Trumper.
That's why I think he has an agenda.
He definitely, of course he does. But he knows in order to ride this train, you gotta make sure that you blow the conductor. So he blowing the conductor. That's it. You know what I mean? But he ain't the only one. He just gets to do it as the vice president. Everybody who is associated with Donald Trump has to kiss the ring, and they got to do it every day. Whenever he's around, you got to pay homage, because if you don't, he gets mad.
And I don't believe those same people if J.D. Vance is here when he becomes.
Hold on. I'm hearing the feedback again. My dude, you're not going to be able to do it. Whatever you're doing, it's not going. You can't do it. I can hear this shit. My audio clear as shit. You know what I mean?
I'm good.
You good now? You ain't good a minute. You ain't good 30 seconds ago. I can hear that shit. So, all right. But yeah. So yeah, like you got to understand exactly what we dealing with this whole thing. Now, of course, every politician has an agenda. Not everybody gets a chance to push their agenda. Not everybody gets a chance to have their agenda appreciated by others and actually promoted by others. Well, that's the position that they're in right now. Win, lose, or draw, like it or lump it, whatever, love it or hate it. That they are holding the cards. They literally are holding the cards like they was talking about on Friday. Now, if you think you disapprove of some of the things they're doing now, man, hold a beer, because you really it's going to get so much worse in these upcoming months. By the time summertime comes, this summer might be hotter than fish grease. You know what I mean? Politically, this could be the worst summer ever coming up. And I don't like to deal in negativity and fear mongering and all that kind of shit. But listen, if you know that somebody is a threat, if you know that somebody is a loose cannon, if you know that somebody is dangerous and you act like you don't know it, well, then you just pretty much setting yourself up for failure or violence. And I'm just not the one for all of that. But staying on topic about the things that he said tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so reckless. It's so reckless and irresponsible, the things that he says. You know what I mean? The always taking a chance to totally humiliate Joe Biden, or totally degrade him, insult him, and all of that kind of shit. Because I'm thinking, like, who the fuck wants to hear that? But his base actually does. And that's what we're dealing with. We hate the things that he does, and we're thinking that nobody would appreciate that, and we're wrong. This is who they are. And unfortunately, it seems like we're all headed in that direction in some kind of way, because even we want to act like a park ape. Because we figure the only way how you going to be the park ape without being a park ape? So exactly. I mean, look, Kim, you was just saying a little while ago, I was hoping they would fight.
I did.
I'm saying this is where they got us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is where they got us. This is not a good look. We gotta find a way to be able to win this war. But we not doing good in the battles. So the war ain't looking like something that can be won right now. So somehow we gotta grab on to the fabric of what captivates Americans right now in the here and now, and also stop trying to return to the political style that we think has gotten us to where we are now. Because it just may be that we may have to make a permanent change in the way that we address the American public if we expect to be back on that seat. Now, it's not like I don't think that we'll get it back, because I do. But I don't know how these midterms and shit are going to go, because I don't know if they're going to be any midterms anymore. I don't know if we're going to have elections anymore. It's that serious.
Well, one thing is the Democrats are going to have to start being honest. They have to be upfront and honest. All of this ending jerk, lying, pacifying, passiveness, it's got to go. Like, Hakeem Jeffries is not a leader. He is not a good person to lead anyone anywhere. He is very soft. I'm sorry, this nigga is a marshmallow. He is not the person. Like, Jasmine Crockett acts like she has a bigger dick than he does. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And I'm not saying it in a way to be disrespectful. I'm just saying it in a way that she has a more powerful presence than he does. And actually, it's the females who have a more powerful presence in the Democratic Party than the males. And unfortunately, that's the truth.
It happens.
So maybe he needs to take a back seat and let them come to the front and speak the truth. Like, they need to be honest. They need to be honest to their constituents. They need to be honest to the American people. Even Andre Carson, that is the person from my state, Andre Carson, he is not honest. And the only reason why he keeps getting this seat is because there's nobody else to run. That's the reason why he keeps getting it. He's a legacy person because of his grandmother. So he keeps getting the same seat in Indiana because he is a legacy person and no one else is running for the position.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why he keeps getting there. But even he is a passive liar because he's a low-level liar too. He's not honest about what's really going to happen. Even in our state, our governor is a Trump MAGA maniac. And our state is getting worse. We have this governor wants Indiana to be the model for every negative thing that is going to mean anything positive for the American people. He wants to prove that Indiana supports Trump in every horrific thing that he does. So he makes sure we are the first to do whatever horrific, horrible thing it is. So because of that, Andre Carson takes the back seat and just lightly glides over where we are. He lightly discusses the position we're in. We are in a bad position in my state right now. And he just kind of, we're going to get through it. We're going to be okay. We're just going to go out and fight. We have all these lawsuits in place. Nigga, y'all don't have shit in place to stick in. This man celebrated the Supreme Court supporting him in this speech last night. And because of that, we don't have anything that's tangible that is going to help us, not as a state and not as a nation. And unfortunately, it has a global impact. So because of this, if these people continue to half-ass tell the truth, to me, which is a lie, then the American people will never know. And we will be stuck in this in the worst kind of way. And I just think they need to start looking for a leader and really start educating, start talking about the reality. And I don't care how grim it sounds, but the truth is the truth is the truth. If my family was in imminent danger because it was zombies outside, I'm not going to say, hey, it's the people outside who are dead, but they're alive and they're coming to kill us and they're making a little bit scary noise. All we got to do is shut the door because they don't know how to open the doors and get in. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say it's some fucking zombies outside. Get y'all shit, get ready. We got to fight. And if one of y'all get bit, we going to have to take you out. It's just as simple. Don't be the stupid one to go out there and get bit. But we have to fight. We're in imminent danger. That's what you say. That's what they should say.
What I was saying is that last week I was saying about the nervousness and the scariness of what people are feeling in the Democratic Party. And this is what happened when people put their hand in the cookie jar and can be investigated, right? So they're scared that this man is going to investigate him. Jasmine Crockett, I honestly know, we can both, all three of us can agree is that she's clean because there's nothing that they haven't done to investigate this girl. There's nothing they haven't done. There's nothing they haven't done because she's opening her mouth and she's speaking up. Hakeem Jeffries and any other, even the Pelosi, even Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. I heard Chuck Schumer speak yesterday, right? And he sounds so humble and begging, please, President Trump, please don't go forward with those terrorists. I'm like, motherfucker, I never heard you talk like this.
Yeah.
He was talking on the humble. Not the yelling and screaming that he was doing in his first term. Now y'all nervous. Because he got his hands on FBI, CIA, all these people that can investigate y'all asses for putting your hands in the cookie jar. If y'all scared to speak up, and if y'all scared to speak up,
Bernie still keeps speaking. Bernie keeps. I'm gonna tell you who it is. It's Bernie. It's AOC. It's Jasmine, and it's Ayanna. And Elizabeth Warren. The only
one you see on TV the most is Jasmine.
No, I think the others too.
Yeah, I see the other. But listen. Fuck all that. Listen, we got a poll question up. And the poll question is, do you feel like you and your family are safe with this current administration? Now, out of 18 votes, 78% say no and 22% say yes. Now, I'm interested because I want to discuss this for a minute. The first question that comes to my mind is, what does feeling safe mean to you? And what does it take in order for you to feel safe? Because, safety is not the same, doesn't have the same ingredients for everybody. So I want to ask y'all, I want to ask you, Troy, I'm going to ask you first. When you think about safety, what like answering a question like that with this current administration, how do they make you feel safe or unsafe?
Well, it makes it so unsafe because when you're dealing with a narcissist and a person that doesn't have the knowledge and the wisdom of being a president, and that's not thinking like a president, and that's thinking of me first and his legacy, it throws everything else in haywire. And when you're not willing to sit down and talk to people with common sense and use common sense, especially with the international community, it can create a war. It can create a war.
Okay.
And that's the part that I'm mainly focused on, the international part. Just like when she was speaking about the North Korean, the sister to Kim Jong-un. Mm-hmm. You see, it can create wars. When you sitting up here trying to make us feel like we're so powerful, yes, we're powerful, but power doesn't mean create something. Power means to be the leader of downplaying it and keeping it at an even kill. You don't go to war because you can't go to war. You go to war because you have to go to war. Don't create a narrative of what we got to do. Don't do that. And that's what he's in the process of trying to do.
Okay. All right, Kim.
So for me, I'm just going to speak from just a simplistic viewpoint. Safe and unsafe for me. Safe was a time where I would get with my international cohort and we'd have our weekly meetings about work stuff and fun stuff. And now unsafe is we're in our meetings because everyone is in tears across the globe because we all have the same fears. Safe used to be I could sleep at night. I wouldn't be up at 3 o'clock in the morning working on work stuff and on a podcast because I'm sleeping because I can rest. But unsafe is now, this is my life now because I can't sleep. Because I'm laying in the bed thinking about what's going to happen when I close my eyes and wake up tomorrow. Are my nieces and nephews and my little cousins going to be able to be educated? Is my cousin Safe, who's in the military, and she's got 3 stripes on her head because of this man? I need to call her and have words with her in case this is the last day I get to talk to her because she's already had threats made to her. Safe used to be, I know my mortgage is good, my house is good, my bills are good, my job is good. Unsafe is, the fuck am I I fought for this house for X amount of years and I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep it. I don't know if I'm going to have a job. I don't know if I'm going to have Social Security for me to retire with because I'm closer to that end of life than the one I used to have because I'm past 50. Safe used to be, I know I can go to the store and have this much money and buy that. And unsafe is, fuck, am I going to have money to buy groceries? Am I going to be able to have enough groceries to feed me and this fur abuser I live with? Safe used to be, I could call my dad and we'd have happy conversations. And unsafe is, my dad calls me and he said, hey, my daughters who I never wanted to have a gun, when are you guys going to go get shooting lessons? And let's go pick out guns for each of you to have.
True.
That's where it changes for me. So I know I'm not safe. Safe used to be, I didn't worry so much about whatever violence was going on across the waters. Not that I didn't care, but because I was like, hey, I'm in America. I have a little bit of safety, although I know it can affect me. Unsafe is knowing now that it is affecting us. And it has everything to do with us because we are all in this same mess together.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it means to me.
Okay. All right. For me, I don't feel safe, and it doesn't have anything to do with me feeling safe physically. But I know that I'm not in a safe place when there's too much fear around me. Fear can stop a person from doing anything about their situation, or it can make a person in the situation, whether they in their own lives or in somebody else's. Fear is a very, very destructive emotion. Very, very destructive. That, some people try to switch it around and say, having a healthy fear, it can be good, it can be constructive, whatever. Fuck all that. Fear makes you make decisions that you would otherwise not make, or that you might think out well and calculate better. So I don't like the division. We've all, being a black man, I'm used to divisions, but I'm used to the divisions that I know. These new divisions created to divide people that I've previously been united with. And I'm feeling like I can't go back to that place of unity with them ever again, knowing that they support this type of movement and this way of life and this type of thinking. I can never be joined with them seriously like I was before. So that's an option that's out. But I don't feel safe because right now I don't know what people are going to do. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that causes fear the most is the unknown, the unpredictability of things, the probability that things won't go well. So yeah, I don't feel safe for those reasons. And I hope everybody in the chat understands those things. Ethan Rudy, what's good? And also Brian, that Philly boy. So, this is it's hard to feel. How can you feel safe when people are running around here really talking about when your president of the United States is talking about World War III? How are you supposed to feel safe? Yeah. But I he impresses me as the type of person that likes to see people afraid. He likes to see them uneasy. He likes to make people uncomfortable. So
I feel like he wants to make you uncomfortable because he wants to feel like when he comes in and makes you comfortable, he then saves the day, like he's Superman. We're not realizing that you're creating a narrative of uncomfortability.
Mm-hmm.
You're creating a narrative to make yourself fix the narrative. So it's like he want to keep himself he want to bring us down low to try to be the savior and say, look what I did. Look, I
What you can let him set the forest on fire and then go put the fire out and say, hey,
there you go. That's what he wants to do. So he wants to sit down and, you're going to create World War III. And then turn back around when it's created. There's nothing you can do. Once that's created, there's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
There's no calming shit down. Especially when he's walking around and he's masturbating Putin's dick the whole time. The whole time that he had, when he was in his first terms, he went over there, sat down with Putin. He looked like a little kid standing next to a grown man because he was so gleeful and happy to be in Putin's president.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen that shit from none of our presidents.
He looks up to who he looks up to. So that's not going to change.
I mean, I'm just saying, let's see, the fact that it's not going to change is putting everybody in harm's way.
Right. And that's why I don't feel safe. And that's why I think it's legit for people not to feel safe. I think it's interesting and peculiar when people like his supporters will tell you that there's no reason to fear and y'all just scared of nothing because the media told y'all to be afraid of him, and they also told y'all to hate him and all that kind of stuff, as if somebody would have to tell us grown folks exactly how to feel and what to say, and it's disrespectful.
As if we can't form our own opinion.
Right, it's disrespectful. It is. It's very disrespectful.
We don't. So when I tell you this much, I very rarely look at the news now because of him. So when I go on YouTube and it's in my algorithm, that's when I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I already know, like I said, back when he was president before, I was so much alert on this shit that I was just too much into it. So when I say, you know what? If this is what Americans want, let's just see what happens. I'm not going to focus my attention on it. But now that I see what's going on, now I got to put a little attention on it. Because I want to see. What'd you say, Skill?
I said it's hard not to. How can you not?
Yeah, it's hard not to, and that's the whole thing about it. Like I told you last week, I told you, man, listen, I can't put my attention on it. And you would say, yo, you better put your attention on it. And then I turn back around, I'm not even looking into none of this shit. It's just popping up. Like they trying to go, you better start looking at it.
Well, look how it was last night. He was gleeful. He was bragging. He was joyful. He was, look at what they did for me and look at what I get. Nah, 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 nah. You thought you could stop me from getting this ice cream, but I got it anyway, and I got two.
Literally,
let me do it. That's how he was.
Literally, that's how he acts, and that shit is infectious.
Yeah, and the thing about it, son, is that it's not. But see, this is the thing that takes me out, right? It was bothersome to me, right? It's because, and I said this before, and I'm not trying to get off the subject. You see, middle America is dominantly white. And that's the part, and it will put him over the top as middle America and white women. They didn't want that woman to be president, even if it means losing their abortion rights. But those are the people I'm not worried about. The people I'm worried about is the people like the Latinos and the others that voted for him, and now y'all regretting it. Now y'all crying online and crying on YouTube and crying on TikTok about what he's doing to y'all. And this was the part when all three of us was on the podcast, and we was like, watch what happened. But the worst part that's going on now is that the part that affects us is the global part, is the financial part. But the thing about us as African Americans is that we know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. We don't want to have to go back to that, but we do, because our parents, our ancestors taught us that. But we don't want to have to go back to that.
Well, with him imposing his tariff on China, he's taking away my ability to sell some fentanyl.
That comes out of the United States, but to him it comes from every place else.
When the fentanyl get high as shit, just for you to be high as shit. You know what I mean? You won't be laughing then.
I like the double entendre.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. Yeah, hold on. There was some other shit that he talked about tonight that I wanted to get into. Hold on, let me
ask you something. What could the Democrats do in that chamber to bring some attention? Because Al Green, which I still laugh at, Congressman Al Green stood up and he got upset, and the Speaker of the House stood up and said, "Can you escort Representative Al Green. Like he's doing it like this is some type of United Kingdom chamber. Come on, man.
Well,
they all should have stood up. They all should have.
There you go.
In solidarity. That's what they should have done. Because what you gonna do is put everybody out? You gonna escort them? Are you physically going to remove everyone? See, now it's gonna
everybody. You have to make a statement. The statement is that, and the thing about it is that in order for the Republican Party, and they don't understand this, in order for the Republican Party to get back to being a Republican Party, somebody's going to have to stand up to him.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to have to be a group that's going to have to stand up to him to preserve our rights as Americans, or to get us to a different level. Because if they don't break that, if somebody don't step forward and say, we have to break this shit up, it's going to continue. It's not so much as just on the Democrats. You need 5 to 10 people from the Republican Party, from Congress and the Senate, to say, and number one, number two, Lindsey Graham got to go.
Okay.
He has to go. He's saying one thing one week, and then the next week, he's his public toilet. He let him shit on him.
I don't think that we should be looking for Democrats to solve this thing.
No, I think it's the people that are going to have to.
I mean, bingo.
The American people.
Bingo. Because the only way that this thing is gonna really, get turned around is if enough people become uncomfortable to where nobody's uncomfortable, nobody's confident, and nobody's happy. Now, I think he's getting a little closer to that because motherfuckers are really mad about this shit. But only one of the easiest ways.
You have to make it to the midterms.
I'm telling you, I don't know if they're going to be a such thing called the midterms anymore. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, we can't worry about that.
But here's the thing.
I think we can't do
that. I'm way past telling this motherfucker what he can do. You know what I mean? But but what I'm saying is this: it's hard to keep people. The easiest way to piss off Americans is to make them start losing their jobs. We take that very, very personally. You know what I mean? It's one thing for plants to close down and things like that. It's another thing for things to be shut down in the interest of somebody else making money or somebody else getting whatever it is that they're looking for. So, but enough people have to get mad. And for me, for my purposes, there are a lot of people mad, but they ain't mad enough, and it's not enough of them mad. The people who are closest.
Nobody's talking about anything. They're not. They're doing a little bit of stuff, but not enough stuff. Like for me, what's impactful, and I know what I'm saying is not going to be for everyone. I get it. But this is a case of today, right now, everybody say fuck this. Like those 2 million workers who got the email, all 2 million should have said today, we just won't work. We'll show up and we won't work. What are you going to do? If 2 million federal workers don't work, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if every person who believes and knows that he is incorrect decides, today I'm not doing shit? He's already tanked the stock market. Send the bitch to hell. There's no way he could recover enough to entertain anyone and satisfy any of his people if that happens. And the message should be because he's making threats and he doesn't believe in workforce and he doesn't believe in anything, let's show him what it's like when it doesn't happen. See, that's the first attack. And then you continue to make attacks on and on. And then put his feet to the fire. Continue to make him answer the questions. Stop giving him a chance to answer anything. This is on the reporters. Stop giving him a chance to tell a lie. Stop giving him a chance to talk about nothing. Continue to ask him the questions. Hey, we haven't heard anything from Vivek in a minute. Ramaswamy, he disappeared. What happened to him? Don't let him respond with his stupidness. Keep asking him. Hey, you didn't answer my question about what you're going to do about the economy and the high price of eggs, as if that's the only thing that's high. Hey, you didn't answer this question. Let him give his stuff and then go back to what I asked you was, what are you going to do about the high cost of eggs? Hey, you stop talking, you sit down, and you go to the next person. That next reporter is supposed to say, again, what are you going to do about the cost of eggs? Then the next person, what are you going to do about the cost of eggs? And then the next person until he gives an answer. That's what it's going to take. But nobody has the balls to do that collectively as a unit. And I get it, because everybody isn't going to be comfortable saying, today I'm not going to work. I get that. There's a lot of fear because we already are in an unstable situation where we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. So it's not easy for anyone to say that or do it. But I think if enough people do it at one time and you make it a continuous thing, then that would be the wake up for the others to say, wait a minute. Now you can't fix this. What are you going to do? Is that going to be enough for him to stop? Of course not. But it's going to spark something in some of those who are afraid to speak out. Because he's had a few. I can't remember the guy's name, but he hired him in. And once he got approved and he went in, he said, I don't agree with this bullshit. He didn't say those words exactly, but he disagreed with something. And immediately he was rushed out the door.
The Joint Chief was that.
Is that his name? I can't remember his name.
No, it wasn't.
He
was the Joint Chief of Staff. He fired the Joint Chief of Staff.
Those.
Is that the one? He came right in. And he was supposed to agree with Trump, and immediately was like, no, don't do that, no. And he rushed right out the door.
Farmers voted for him overwhelmingly.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm supposed to boo-hoo over him? It's sad that they, fucked up and made this decision, but they're grown men and women, and they made the decision that they thought would be best for them. It don't seem
specific farmers, not all farmers, but specific farmers.
Well, definitely the farmers from the Midwest. They all fucked up right now. So then you have women, particularly white women. So their prenatal care, the Roe v. Wade thing and all that, they voted right against their interests.
Yes.
And it's not the first time that it's ever happened, and it probably won't be the last. But this time, it's coming to really, really bite you in the ass.
Yes.
But that's on you.
See, he could be frankly honest. He really couldn't focus all that attention on what he wanted to do in his first term because for the last 2 years, it was COVID. Mm-hmm. So we would have just imagine we would have got the back end of the bullshit that he would have that he wanted to do right now that he wanted to do then that he's doing now. Mm-hmm. He's just doing it now that he got another 4 years now to do it.
Oh, he probably
kicked in and he really couldn't do nothing. Anyway. Say that again?
I said we probably gonna have another virus, so
you got bird flu, you got bird flu intensifying, you got measles coming back.
Say that again, measles in 2025, measles. When is the last time you heard an outbreak of measles?
But you messing up with the U.S. aid stuff. He's cutting money to go towards preventing Ebola from coming into the United States.
Well, here's one even better. Going back, like Son said, let's stick to what happened last night. It puts you in a tough position with the young guy, the young boy who is dealing with brain, who had the tumor, and his dad lifted him up. We know he was using him as a pawn to look like he's a great humanitarian and a great president, when in reality you're taking funding that provides cancer assistance to children and removing Medicaid for those who need assistance with care for their children when it comes to medical care. Mm-hmm. But he's saying we're going to do this for this young boy here, and we're going to make him an honorary and blah, blah, blah. And his dad lifts him up on his shoulders. And I know his dad is feeling, he may not like him, but he's just like, listen, he's doing this for my son, and this is about my kid. And I get it as a parent. But someone needs to put his feet to the fire and say, okay, you did this, but for real, this is what you did too. So if you really care about kids, then why are you hurting these children here? You're making sure they don't have lunch. You're making sure they're not educated. You don't want their parents to have jobs. Do you really care about kids? You don't want them to get health care. Do you really care about kids? See, those are the things. People aren't going to be bold enough or have the balls enough to address him with these issues and call his bluff. And that has to happen. He's going to be mad. He's going to be angry. He's going to talk a little shit, call a little juvenile name because he's a kid, because that's what he does. So what? Who the fuck cares? Listen, he could call me every name in the book, and I would have so many words for him that he would want to get someone to murder me by the time I was finished. He would probably put a bounty on my head. And he needs people like that to address him. Like, I would love for him to be in a verbal battle with Jasmine. So she would probably make him that orange melt from his flesh and he turned beet red.
Never gonna happen. But I understand what you I understand what you're saying.
You have verbal battle with somebody who can light that ass up.
But
he's not ever gonna go at it with Bernie.
But he doesn't need a war of words. He needs a war of actions. So the people who are hold on. The people who are close to him have to get angry at him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You know,
and they won't.
Well, wait, I'm not so sure that they won't. I'm not so sure that they won't. Y'all have to remember that he lost damn near everybody who he appointed in his cabinet in his first administration. His job retention rate on in his administration is low as shit.
I think it's going to be specific.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Remember, the ones, most of them got locked up. The ones who didn't get locked up, they jumped ship. He had a totally different administration from the time he started in January of 2017 to when he ran again in 2020. Totally different. Manafort,
Joint Chief of Staff.
What's her name? Sean Spicer.
Sarah Huckabee.
Hold on. Jeff, what's his name? What's the real ugly boy that be red faced, looking all crazy all the time?
Steve Bannon.
Steve Bannon. He ugly as shit, ain't he? I mean, that motherfucker look crazy. Steve Bannon. What were the other ones that got locked up?
Look at Michael Cohen.
Michael Cohen. So it's not like people who are close to him, you know, after a while they break. But they
can't wait to after a while. Like, I feel like JD Vance has a different agenda. However, that should be the person. Like, he should really, the fact that he would not, when they asked him, would he endorse him to be president if something happens to him, and he said no first. Then he gave some bullshit answer after, but he said no first. That should have said it. That should have set the stage. And maybe it is, and maybe he will. I don't know, but it needs to happen sooner than later. I believe Susie, is her name Susie Wild?
Oh, God.
I never get her name right because I call her 1920. I think she looks like the 1920. But I think her name is Susie Wild. I can't remember. But the old lady who's with him now, who does not like Elon, I think she might be a person to say a little something, but I don't think it'd be enough. It has to be impactful for somebody else to say something to him. And I don't know who that would be.
Well,
that's the thing, because there's so many who kiss his ass. Who would it be?
It hasn't been 2 months yet. So once give it a good 6 months to a year, when cats start getting locked up again, when quid pro quo start happening, or impeachment inquiries start happening, and cats start running wild because they think that they're entitled and all of that. The people, the way he's running his business, he's isolated himself so much with this oligarchy. Everybody who's not a billionaire and not on that status is going to be uncomfortable, especially for some of these cats that are only making 6 figures a year. You know what I mean?
So the whole thing in a nutshell, in order for things to wake people to wake up into this presidency, show a wake up call to this presidency, they have to make themselves uncomfortable. They have to break up their comfortability and not think about the money, about the aspect of what's going on in America. And until they do that, it's going to continuously be the way it is right now. And that's what the Republican Party and
well,
the Democratic Party.
some of these Republicans are actually Republicans, and they weren't MAGA before. MAGA
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so yeah,
and them the ones need to come forward. Them the ones that need to come forward.
But it's going to take. It's going to take. Right now, they are still basking in the afterglow of winning back the election. But now people are starting to get hit up backside of their head. You know what I mean? People, of finding their houses being burnt down, they tires being flattened, and windows getting busted out. Yeah, you able to afford to get these minor things fixed or whatever, but after a while, it's going to start to get heavy, because once this administration really starts getting into that Russia pocket, to whereas it like nobody can deny it anymore, nobody can defend it anymore, then I think you'll see something. Like even with Mark Rubio, he used to talk about Trump like a dog, and it wasn't no lies that he was telling. Now he's the Secretary of State, right? Okay. Well, secretaries of state have known to jump ship in the middle of administration. I mean, Hillary Clinton did it. She did it so she could run for president.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to remember our history. Ain't nobody going to roll with Trump through thick and thin, because his thick is too thick.
Mm-hmm.
He don't run thin. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to battle for your future. It's another thing to have to battle for your life. And I think that enough people are going to have to feel like their life is in jeopardy.
So do you think if something, let's just say something along the lines of what happened to Nancy Pelosi's husband happened to, say, Mike Johnson, or say somebody really puts a severe threat against, not a threat, but something that really scares and rattles their family against J.D. Vance's wife and children.
Mm-hmm.
Something where somebody has followed them or laid out a plan and they get counteracted like they did with Gretchen Whitmore. Do you think something like that would be enough to rattle them to be like, hey, I'm out of this, and here, let me tell my truth before you do anything further to cause harm to my family or to me? Do you think it's going to be something like that? Or do you think it's going to be your ass is in jail, we taking your kids away? Is going to be something like that, or a combination of all of this and then some more? Or do you think it's going to have to take a storming of the Capitol again on his watch?
I think it's going to be like this. I think what you said is correct. What you said, well, part of what you said is correct. It's going to take those Republicans that's not MAGA, to infiltrate that system and bring the nucleus of what the Republican Party used to do. Because what they did was allow the MAGA Republicans to take over, and he's running that whole concept. And that whole concept that's being ran is what's destroying the morale and the nucleus of this government. Now, I'm not saying government is perfect, but where it was at and where it's at now, we right now we're at that time 2 or 3.
Not everybody who's acting like they don't give a fuck or like they're comfortable is actually comfortable. There's a lot of acting and pretending going on right now because the money is flowing. Once we get to the point where the money slows down and you really got to work for the money, then we're gonna see a different person. Because once you go to when you're born in a place of privilege and then one day you got to actually get a job, and you actually have to work, it can be a shock to your system. Well, I think that you're going to hear and see a lot of shocks. I mean, when it really comes down to it, 2025 is only a couple of months in. There's a lot more pages to this book, a lot more different chapters. And speaking of which, it's almost 4:00 in the morning. We gotta get on up out of here, man. So I'm gonna do these birthday shout outs, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. The conversation was great, and I'm always humbled and appreciative that y'all stopped by and gave me and allow your mind to shine. Y'all have anything to say before y'all get out of here? And don't make it long either.
I'm not going, like I just said, man. Unless we like, I don't think that we just can depend on the Democratic Party to stand up. There has to be people from within the Republican Party that has to break free of the stronghold that he has on him to come and break that nucleus up. And when he does that, when that happens, there will be a brighter day. You see, and it's also going to take investigations against him, because even when he do get out the White House, he still got to go back. He still has a case that's open that he gets locked up for. Those state cases don't go away.
Right.
So yes, he gets locked up. So as soon as he comes out, that's it. That's why you want to be king and dictator and all that, because he won't go to jail.
Well, we're gonna see.
Like I said, man, it's always a pleasure being on here with fans.
Without a doubt. Thanks for coming through. Kim, you got anything? You got anything to say before we go?
I do. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and in the words of Childish Gambino, stay woke.
That's what's up.
Have a good one. Thanks for having me.
Good looking.
I like the quote of Childish Gambino.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all.
All right. Funny. That's one of the things that Trump said tonight. America will never be woke again. He said that shit. And I'm like, I know in the way that they mean woke, because they take woke is to be woke to mean being liberal. But that's for all of my freedom fighters out there, you know what we consider woke to be. All right. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious March 4th, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them and making them feel special, because they are special, because they are special, because they are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. Look at the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. Look at the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They are S-P-E-C-I-A-L. Look at the R-E-S-P-E-C-T. They get number one out the box, my girl Solandra Rice out of Loye. and also Courtney Adria and Kai Hawkins, Maji Hua, Karen Eldridge, Kiwana Newell, Dominique Haitian. What is that? Her line? I'm sorry, it's her line. I'm sorry. And also Dominique. Wait, I said that. Okay. What you got? 2 accounts? Okay. Passia Woods. Last but not least, I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all. And I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And that goes out to each and every person out there born on this glorious March 4th, anywhere out there in the world, worldwide, internationally, and universally. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out. Rock on and do the damn to rock out. Rock on and do the damn rock out. Rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, yo, remember this. Hey, yo, it's hard times that's going on out here. And sometimes I can't believe things out here. But I gotta remain right here. Because I was born and raised right here. And right here is where I care about. And sometimes I feel like I shouldn't have to be scared about just getting my kids together to go to school. Because when they get there, they shouldn't have learn to be fools. There are rules to every situation. Sometimes I feel nothing in my heart, but it's the frustration. Tears running down my cheeks and shit. And I don't like that. Every time I speak this shit, I feel like nobody's listening to the God. And I feel like the times are coming up. They're going to be hard. And I feel like Lord is what I'm eating. And I don't eat no pork, trying to keep the other shit off my fork. It's like eating chitlins force. And that shit smell like shit, of course. And even if it gets you full, you ain't got to eat that shit. Play the fool. If you want to do what you got to do, remain steadfast with your peoples and crew. And because if you don't understand that you are all you got, y'all support each other a whole hell of a lot. The spot is going to have to get taken and it's baking hot. It's getting much hotter. I'm tired of the fodder. This shit is getting crazy as hell. And it's going to get worse. My eyesight and mind can tell. And I feel like a steak well done. That shit is hard as shit to cut on through. What's up with you? What the guan do? Yo, are you ready for this like type of revolution? Do you have any type of ideas or solutions? Well, right now you might be kind of stuck because you're living in the world of crazy Trump. And some people think that I'm just fear mongering. I ain't trying to hear that shit. It's just words I spit. And I feel like sometimes I'm lit and I don't drink or get or high, but I can't get by. Yeah, like my man said, just to get by. You know I'm talking about Kweli. Yo, follow me. Understand it just a second. I speak this fact. Yo, it's getting kind of crazy. You swing the axe and you ain't cutting off the feet like what? Oh, what's that shit? Yeah, the movie Saw. Craziest shit I saw. Feel like I'm living modern day. That's the way. Things are going down. It's kind of horrific. I got to talk about these things and get kind of specific. Yo, from the Pacific all the way to the Atlantic. Shit is getting crazy. Feel like I'm going frantic. And I'm about to panic and go off. Heart beating like a motherfucker. Feeling like a scared sucker. And I'm a grown man and I know how to fight. So why can't I get no good ass sleep at night? Because I'm worried about World War III. That shit, they say what's for you ain't for me. Hold on. Let me run it back, swing it back. Yo, I'm trying to live this life, not swing a bat. Like I'm trying to knock somebody head off. But this kind of shit off my heart, I'm trying to let off. Me playing golf, Mar-a-Lago and shit. Must be crazy. Feel like Rocky and Drago and shit. This shit is crazy as hell. Never seen nothing like it. I'm sound like him. Ball, I spike it. I'm out of here. See y'all tomorrow, kid. Yo, I'm glad I don't have to beg and borrow, kid. At least not for the moment I own it. I don't know what's going to go on. I'm getting some. All right, man. How is y'all, man? Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death. Resuscitate y'all. Love y'all right back to life. We will be back tomorrow with another Daily Go-Getimism show. And tomorrow we ain't gonna be talking about politics. Maybe we're gonna talk about some other fly shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about some other fly shit. But I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. Let me see. Satan. Ain't seen you around here in a while. Brian the Philly Bull. Thanks for coming through. Jihad Joe. What's good? My man Art of Mine 559. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Jen Ramirez, Senorita Ramirez. And can't forget Troy and Kim on the phone, man. I appreciate y'all so much. Make sure y'all hit the like button, share the show, subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This has been another installment of the Daily Go-Getimism Show. I'm your host on 752, aka Omar with the Peace, y'all. All right.